Hello everyone. Today we have Ajinkya with us sharing his interview experience for Texas Instruments for Digital Engineer profile. Ajinkya is doing his masters in microelectronics from BITS Pilani. So let's begin.
My name is Ajinkya Dhekne, and I was selected in Texas Instruments for the role of digital design engineer. And they had a cutoff of CGPA 7, and it had one written round, and also it had two technical rounds and one HR round. Okay, so in the written exam, the platform which was used was Hire Pro, and also in the three sections were there. First section was analog, then digital was there, and also aptitude. And in analog section, we had 20 questions for 45 minutes. In digital section, we had 20 questions for 45 minutes. And in aptitude section, we had 20 questions, and in 30 minutes, we had to solve. And the marking scheme for this was 50% negative marking was there. That is 1 mark for correct question and zero point 0.5 negative for wrong question. So this was the general pattern. And if you can see in general the difficulty level, then in aptitude the difficulty level was quite low, but as the time was also less, so we have to do it faster. And in analog section, the difficulty level was a bit high than digital section. So the digital section was a bit less uh, difficult than the analog section. So if we move on to how to prepare for an aptitude and digital and analog. So the aptitude was a bit easy, and in that paragraphs are straightforward, and the main topics in that could be speed, time, distances, pipes and cisterns, time and work, or profit and loss, percentage, and also logical reasoning. So you can just go for paragraph, and it is very straight and straightforward questions are asked, so you can attempt that. And also for digital section, if you see, then mostly questions are there from delays and powers, and it had also Elmore delay concepts or logical effort concepts. And if you want to prepare for that, you can mostly go for basic digital electronics. So you should be thorough with basic digital electronics, and in that you should be thorough with gates, Boolean equations, or combinational circuits, sequential circuits, counters, semiconductor memories, and also digital ADC or AX, and basic CMOS inverter. These are some of the topics which you can be thorough with, and they will ask basically questions in these topics only. And the next section is analog section, and in analog section you have to be thorough with RC circuits. So they will ask you mainly on capacitor circuits, or they will just try to put some random capacitors here and there, and they will ask to find the time at which the whatever voltage is coming, or something like that they will ask. And also you should be thorough with basic analog and VLSI design in this. Okay, so for the preparation and how I prepared all the subjects, that is aptitude, digital, and analog. So I'll cover in detail all of the three. So for aptitude, I chose to see YouTube videos of Career Right, and you can just basically take any questions of aptitude and just solve through that. So they need the concepts to be good. So it doesn't matter what source you choose. You can also go for IndiaBix. There are many lots of questions in IndiaBix for aptitude. And also for digital, mainly I chose three books. For digital electronics, if you see, then I go for GATE syllabus, which was there, and it could cover most of the digital electronics parts. So for digital electronics, you can go for your GATE books or previous year questions. And for VLSI design, so for that I chose three books, that is Rabe, Veste, and Kang. So from the RABE, I mainly studied sequential and combinational circuits. For Veste, I studied memories, power, and delay. And from Kang, I studied CMOS inverter. So these were the topics which were simpler in respective books. So this was one pattern. And also for analog, I mainly referred that there is a Bits Pilani teacher in YouTube named CMBNT. So you can refer his videos for analog and for RC circuits because he explains very well on RC circuits and he gives very good explanation on intuitive analysis of the RC circuits. So if you could do that very well and understand those concepts very well, then analog part will be very easy for you. So that is one of the thing. And also you can for analog electronics. So you can go for college notes or you can go for gate notes. So that is sufficient in analog electronics. And there is one more very good YouTube channel for maybe analog electronics or digital electronics that is all about electronics. So if you subscribe to that channel, it gives very simple and very understandable explanations to each and every concepts. And their videos are also very nice. So if you can be thorough with uh, these material, then it will be very easy for you to crack any interview. Okay, so for round one, my round one started with the project explanation. They asked me to explain my projects. So I explained all my projects, whichever were there in my Bits Pilani. So all the projects I explained them. So basically, you have to explain 3 or 4 projects. Don't explain too many projects. So after explaining in that, they asked me questions on cache design. So I had done a project on risk, and in that I had implemented cache design, but that was just a very basic design. So I couldn't answer many questions on cache design because they were asking on too high level questions, but they were like, it's okay if I can't answer them all because I had not studied till then. So the basic after that they were onto static timing analysis. Static timing analysis is very important in case of any technical interviews, if you say. So in all of the technical interviews which I have faced, they have asked me on static timing analysis. So in that they can ask you about setup time, hold time, slack, positive slack, negative slack, negative hold time. What does negative hold time mean? What does positive hold time mean? What does we do we have positive setup time also or positive negative setup time also, or if there are any ways to reduce violations, if there is any setup violation or hold violations, then how to reduce them. These are all the questions which you can expect. So these are very basic concepts, but you should be thorough with them. And after that, they asked me about divide by 5 counter with equal duty cycle. So in this question, actually, I couldn't solve all the question, but I gave them a hint or I gave them half of the design of how I can solve it. So this was basically there in my round one interview. Okay, so for round two, it was a very long interview for round two. Basically, in round one, it was a little bit short, but round two, they asked me many questions. And as the interview went on, they were very curious to ask me more and more questions as to how detailed knowledge I have in variety of topics. So they had asked me about linear and non-linear circuits. Again, here also they asked me about setup and hold violations or static timing analysis. Here also they asked me. Then in that they asked me about metastability issues and how to reduce them. They asked me about latch up conditions and how I can avoid them with simple techniques and practical techniques, how I can avoid them. Also, they asked me about ring counter. How should I design a ring counter of some specifications? and they wanted actually basic things. They were not expecting very high level things, but they wanted very crystal clear explanations of all the things. Also, they wanted explanations on FSM, and also they asked me one question was there on to why NMOS can't be used for pull up and PMOS for pull down. This was one of the questions. Another question was there advantages of asynchronous circuits over synchronous circuits, and anyone should be very thorough with CMOS inverter because they can ask you anything from that, and it is very important that one should be very clear in that. And they asked me about static hazards and ways to remove them. Also, how the interview goes is very important. That is, at first they will be showing as if they are in very hurry, so they'll ask you questions in very hurry, but you should be confident enough and you should be very calm to give all the answers in a very calm way and with crystal clear explanations of how the things will happen. But it's not necessary that every answer you will get it or you can crack it. Like, for example, I couldn't give the solution how the latch up can be avoided or any ways to remove it, but still I was close to the answer. They will provide you hints how to go through the ways to find the solution, but it's not always necessary that you will get the answer, but you should be uh, confident enough to give the answers in a very calm and confident way and very uh, good in that. And also, one another thing I would say that they'll not ask you directly the concepts like what is charge sharing, what is charge leakage. They'll give you a circuit and they'll try to give some uh, situations as to how the problems are coming, and they'll ask you what exactly that problem is. Suppose they had actually asked me issues in dynamic circuit design. So they had given me some circuit and they were expecting me to tell them the issues, what all issues can come. But they were not directly telling me the issues. They had given me the circuit and they were asking the issues what could come. So this is the way you should prepare. You should be confident enough and you should take your own time. So at first they were very fast with me, but as they get to know that how my interview is going and how slowly and calmly I'm giving the answer, so they were more curious to answer, to ask me more and more questions. So this is how my round two went. Okay. For after my round one and round two in HR interview, it was a very formal one. So it was just to know about me, from where I come and how my studies went and how I'm feeling, or how what all are my future plans. So this is all they wanted to know. But if you are through round one and round two, you should be confident that HR is just a formality for you, but that should also be given with confidence. So this is about HR interview. Okay. For preparation strategy for interviews, mostly the same material is there, which I use for written examination. And apart from that, which was there is static timing analysis and Verilog. So these are the important things which you can expect in the interviews. So for static timing analysis, a very important site I would say is VLSI Expert. So you should be very thorough with that website because they have given very simple and crystal clear explanations and examples in that. And also you can watch Udemy courses by Kunal Ghosh. He is there and he has developed very nice content on interview preparations. So you can either subscribe to one of the uh, videos of static timing analysis or VLSI interview guidance. So these are the two courses which you can subscribe. And for Verilog, Samir Parnitkar is a very good book for Verilog. And also there is another book for very frequently asked interview questions by Shiv Kumar. So in this you will get synthesis, how synthesis is being done when you are writing any Verilog code. So Verilog code is very easy, but how that will get synthesized is very important. So in this book you will find that very easy and crystal clear explanations. So this is very important. And one more very good tip I would say, that all my interviewers had appreciated me, that this was a pandemic situation, and in this all interviews were through Zoom or Skype or online meets. So in that it was very difficult for them to take interviews. They had like candidates had to take the screenshots of the solutions they were taking, and then they had to show, or if they wanted to ask some questions, it was very difficult for them. So it was like they were also getting frustrated with this. So I had already seen this thing, and I was prepared for it, and I was actually writing on a digital pad by Wacom, and I was just sharing my screen, and I had used one software called External. So it was a very good experience for me and for them. And with that, they could ask me more and more questions, and they could involve me more and more. So because of that, it was a very good experience. And I would say that you should be thorough with how the interview is going to be, and you should be prepared for that. So if it is going to be a Zoom meet or something, you should be prepared that how you are going to answer those questions. If they ask you to solve something, how you are going to answer. It could be with digital pen or with paint, but your whatever answers you are giving, they should be conveyed to them with very easy manner. So this is, if you could do this, then it is a plus point in that. And that is all. I mean, all the best for all the to all the candidates.